You're asking a kid to change their physiology.
How come Castor is at the Court of Arbitration for Sport for this issue, and she hasn't taken it to maybe either a national court level or, similar to what you did with the Ontario Human Rights Tribunal?
I've had that discussion with Greg Knott, very specifically.
Her lawyer.
Yeah, back in late fall. The issue is specifically she wants to continue to run. The missing link in all of this was that I figured out through the various cases over the years that by signing my athlete license over to the UCI, it signs over my rights to the Court of Arbitration. If I have any qualms in terms of anything that impacts me as an athlete, I want to take up in a court proceeding. In this case, an artificial court proceeding, and then also signing my name over to the anti-doping, over to the World Anti-Doping Agency. Then I give up my rights as a Canadian citizen and to be able to seek civil law against a body that has done harm. So
because Castor is still signed on to her athletics license,
right,
she can no longer go to any other court besides CAS.
Right, and this is what happens to many athletes, because I know many female athletes. Again, there's a lot of male athletes that get impacted as well, but for the purpose of our discussion, I know many athletes from the Philippines, South America, South Asian nations, and from India and so on, that have fallen into these traps because no one reads the small print. And this is a great lesson in not reading the small print. So
everyone's shaking their heads at home, thinking of every single thing they've ever signed.
Athletes are completely blind to this, but the issue is that the sports system beholds the athlete to that system. If you do not sign that license, they will say to you, it's our way or the highway. So the athletes are having to sign these contracts. It is a contract with a body in Switzerland in terms of their policies through the Olympic movement, are doing oversight in terms of civil law, and using Canada as an example, a Canadian's rights. It's overseeing our Canadian law. So that is very problematic. The experts are saying we hope that the Court of Arbitration comes to its senses and throws this thing out, in that it does go to a civil process and to then into European Human Rights Court, because no one in this particular case is going to win. Even if Castor gets to run, theoretically, the idea of I hate that idea that we're creating a situation of accommodation in this particular case, because it isn't an issue of accommodation, and that's not inclusion for one. But the other issue is, in terms of real human rights, there's no science and research applicable to what they're putting forward by the IAAF or by the other side who are actually representing Castor. So theoretically, nobody is doing the right thing, and she is paying the most dearest price. It's something that she will be aligned to for the rest of her life. We're asking athletes to change their bodies, 17, 18, 19, 20-year-old young people to change their bodies to fit a social ideology with no science and research. You're asking a kid to change their physiology, to kick a ball, to ride a bike, and to run around a track. That has lifetime implications to their physiology, and that the global sporting system has no clue what that impact is.
So it's not changing the system so that what do we do differently next time next time a problem happens. It's changing the infrastructure to make sure that a problem, quote unquote, doesn't happen again.
It's changing the game. It's changing how we do sport. This is not about a specific athlete, a specific type of athlete. We've got to remove those boxes. We've got to become smarter. And becoming smarter is through education and getting the right people who don't have skin in the game at the table.